This video blog is presented by Fortune 500 consultant, international entrepreneur, and author Del H. Smith. Author of Discovering Life's Purpose, Del presents his Meaning of Life video series under the pseudonym Cool Daddy.
Well, welcome back to the Cool Daddy Meaning of Life video blog. Cool Daddy's the name and ideas is his game. In our last video, Blair agreed with us that a universe from nothing was far from a knockout blow, and he decided to follow us in the no direction from the last signpost. Well, now we've arrived at this signpost that says the meaning of our lives is to channel universal consciousness into our minds and to act on it as well as we are able. Well, does that sound like spiritualism? But wait a minute. We already know the meaning of our lives. Could this signpost be refuting our knowledge? Well, what do we know about spiritualism? Spiritualists believe in a spirit force that is a fundamental quality of existence, much like gravity and electromagnetism. It created and is in everything in existence. And this belief has been shared by indigenous peoples for tens of thousands of years and is fundamental to Hindu, Tao, and Buddhist teachings. But to you, does it sound more like primitive superstition and unfounded religious dogma? Where's the evidence? Well, Stephen Taylor's book, Spiritual Science, produces considerable evidence that spiritualism is real. He prefaces his evidence with his view of spiritualism. He claims that the Big Bang was the spirit force's creation of all matter and its endowment of it with universal consciousness. About 9 billion years later, life emerged from matter, containing cells capable of channeling universal consciousness into their individual consciousness. Life is propelled by the spirit force to greater and greater complexity and higher life forms, which we know of as evolution. Human brains are capable of channeling universal consciousness into our minds, and universal consciousness connects us to all beings and even to inanimate objects. Well, where's the evidence of consciousness? Well, consciousness in an amoeba turns it towards food, and in plants turns them towards the sun. And consciousness in animals gives them the self-awareness to recognize themselves in mirrors. And humans experience self-consciousness, worrying, judging, visualizing. Taylor insists that the mind is our individual consciousness rather than being a component of our brains. Where is the evidence that our minds are distinct from our brains? Well, extensive studies of near-death experiences provide evidence that the mind continues to function after the brain has died. And healings due to sham surgery, placebos, hypnotism, and faith provide evidence of the mind's power over the body. Well, where is the evidence of connectedness? Well, telepathy and distance healing are evidence of the mind's connectedness to other minds. And psychokinesis, the ability to move objects by mental effort alone, is evidence of the mind's connectedness to inanimate objects. Well, Taylor cites countless experiments that confirm all this, but materialists dismiss his findings as flawed science without offering alternative explanations of what his evidence confirms. They simply close their mind to it evidence, much as fundamentalists do to fossil evidence. Well, if Taylor's evidence establishes that spiritualism is real, could this signpost be consistent with our earlier signpost to the meaning of life? Could our Creator be the spirit force? Could its outreach to us be universal consciousness? Could it have given us the free will to decide whether or not to channel that universal consciousness into our minds and to grow our connectedness to all things? Could this signpost simply be expressing the meaning of life in a different way? And can we proceed in the S direction as assuredly from it as we did from our earlier signpost? Well, could spiritualism's practice through sleep deprivation, fasting, psychedelic substances, and/or meditation help Adrian better understand and internalize life's meaning? But might spiritualism be as difficult for Brenda as reasoning was? And might Sally find reason-based religion a more powerful enabler? Well, could this maze have enough signposts to help all of us? Shall we proceed in the S direction and find out?
Thanks for watching Cool Daddy's Meaning of Life with Del Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.